scene. Hold on one second. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. What's up, beautiful people? What's up to my beautiful people watching me on all platforms? Oh, wait a minute. We got to go live. We got to go live on IG. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Nights with Nicci. We had a little technical difficulty. Can you guys hear me okay over there on TikTok? TikTok, can you give me a confirmation with some hearts that you guys can hear me okay on TikTok? I'm trying something a little different so that you guys get better audio quality. I'm sure you guys can hear me on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook and WIRF. Can I get some hearts if you can hear me okay? On TikTok. TikTok, give your girl some hearts, please. Woo, child, I'm a little warm, honey. Your girl's a little warm. Hi, IG, I see y'all up in here. What's up, Instagram? What's up, Facebook? I'm trying to see. I guess you guys can hear me okay. Okay, I see some hearts coming in. I was like, wow, I didn't know if you guys could hear me okay. I am your girl, Nicci Gilbert Daniels, and you are tuning in to an episode of Nights with Nicci. I appreciate you guys for coming to hang out with me. I know that there are a lot of places that y'all can hang out. I'm just really grateful that you guys have chosen to hang out with me on Nights with Nicci. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's a lot of stuff happening out here in these streets on the news. You know, as usual, I have my protein shake. Baby, listen, I've been on this health and fitness kick. And when I tell you I have been working my butt off to, you know, when I turned 55 years old, it just hit different, you guys. It just hit different. You know, you got to really take care of yourself, especially with all the things that are happening out here. I was watching, shout out to Teslin Figaro and Funky Deneva. I was watching her broadcast with Funky today. And she said some really important stuff, you guys. If you did not get a chance to look at Funky Deneva's live, hi, TikTok. Is the audio quality better, TikTok? I hope the audio quality is better. Somebody says skin 55 wear. Actually, you guys, I'm going to be probably next year, probably close to my birthday next year, maybe a little bit before it. But I've been approached about some skincare opportunities. I've been testing some stuff out because, of course, I want to use them. But I have definitely been asked about my skincare routine quite a bit. Yes, I'm 55 years old. And to be totally honest, I've had, you know, what some people would consider, you know, well, not non-problematic skin, because I think good skin is skin that protects you. And of course, you know, don't hate to be moisturized and hurt to be moisturized and melanated. But yes, I am actually working on something for skincare. And I'm trying the products out. And if I love them, then they will be in one of those marketplaces that we'll be setting up soon. I'd like to be able to get it done before the holidays, but, you know, I don't know about that. Oh my goodness, on TikTok, one of my followers on TikTok says, can you pray for me? I'm on American Idol on Wednesday. All right, y'all, you know how we do on this here live. You know how we do on Nights with Nicci. When it's time to pray, it's time to pray. How Hammer say, you got to pray just to make it today. Oh yeah, we pray. Pray. No, okay, let's be serious. What is your name, sweetheart? Let me see. Is that Prince? Prince JT. Okay, you guys, let's do a prayer for Prince JT. Dear Heavenly Father, please bless Prince JT as he goes out for American Idol next on Wednesday. Lord God, bless Prince JT's vocals. Lord God, let us be able to see Prince JT walk home with the gold, or run home with the gold, or sing home with the gold, whatever it is. Bless his mind, her mind, their mind, body, and spirit, Lord God. Bless the minds, bodies, and spirits of the judges. In Jesus' name we pray for good luck for Prince JT, who is going out for American Idol next Wednesday. I love it. I'm sorry, I didn't know what your pronouns were. You know, it's a little weird because you got to make sure that you're careful about it because you don't want to offend anybody. So there's that. You guys, we got a lot to talk about today. We are going to do a quick recap on Lil Nas X. We are also going to talk a little bit about, yes, Kobe Bryant, the Kobe Bryant. Looks like he has a docu coming to one of the streaming platforms. And I think that that's amazing as long as his family, namely his wife, is involved. I forgot to ask on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and all the other platforms. Can you guys hear me okay? No clicking and stuff. I'm trying a different mic setup for my live, for my TikTok live, and I just don't know if the two mics are feeding off of each other or giving each other feedback. I'm sorry. We are also going to talk about it's a big day. It's a lot going on out here. But I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Sharon Chutter or Cutter, Chutr. I don't know what the correct pronunciation of it is. But she is the trailblazing UOMA beauty founder and diversity advocate. And she was found DEAD in Los Angeles at 38 on her patio. So of course, we're going to talk about that, especially since it's 111 followers. I'm sorry, viewers on TikTok. I love you, Maxie. I love you so much. You guys, please give me plenty of hearts and plenty of love. Please. And thank y'all. I really, really, really appreciate you. Move this over just a little bit so I can access you guys a little bit better. To the ticking and talking so I can see y'all better. We are also going to be talking about, I don't know, honey, folks do the darndest things. We're going to talk about this woman who was actually going around giving people veneers. Y'all listen, we all want our teeth to look, and I say teeth, T-E-E-F. We want our teeth to look amazing, right? But to go to somebody who is not a dentist or an orthodontist is absolutely crazy. And apparently that has been going on in these streets. We're going to talk about her crazy trifling ass out here doing whole procedures on people without having any kind of license. Today is also the anniversary of Aaliyah's passing. We're going to touch on that a little bit. What else do we have on our schedule to talk about? Kobe, Aaliyah. Oh, Lil Nas X. Okay, I got an update for you guys on Lil Nas X. That's going to be really interesting. But first off, let's just do a roll call. Let's see who is in the building. Let's see who's watching tonight. Hi, sister. I see you. I see you. I will see you this weekend. I'll tell you all about it. I'm going to send you. Oh, sorry. That's real big and ostentatious. I will send you a text. Remember what it is you represent in all avenues of your career. Absolutely. You should be doing product advertising. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Come on, TikTok, y'all on fire. Let's see who over here on TikToks. Shout out. Somebody said Norma Desmond. You better know it. Angelica, I see you. Javon. What's up? I see you. Yes, we have prayed for you. I see you, Tracy. I see you, 2 up, 2 down. Would you guest judge on Deb's house? I'm watching Kiki on it now. Yes, I love Deb. All she got to do is ring my bell and I will show up in a heartbeat. I've heard about that show. I heard. And thank you guys for all the compliments. I really appreciate you guys. Somebody asked how old I was when I did R&B Divas. Well, I'm sorry. I want to be rude. I am 55 now. R&B Divas is 13 years old. So y'all do the math. What was I, 42? Something like that. Is that right? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I ain't never been good at math. I ain't gonna even hold y'all up. Ain't never been good at math. Hey, accountability coach, I see you. What's up, Pam, the law intellect? I see you as well. Hey, beautiful soulful voice, beautiful skin. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. TikTok, I really have been enjoying my experience over there. I'm really new to the TikTok family, you guys. And YouTube, please bear with me if y'all see me glancing over to the TikTok side. Here, let me put this over here because it's a little distracting. I'll try to get flash, you guys. Okay. I think that's whatever. I think you're going to be able to see it either way. Important thing is that TikTok can hear me okay. I've really been enjoying my time over on TikTok. I feel like, these social media streets have been good to your girl. We are almost to 20,000 subscribers on the WIRF.TV YouTube. I'm super grateful for that because, listen, it's a lot of places out here on the internet where you guys can hang out, and I'm just really grateful. Really, really, really grateful that you guys are tuning in and supporting me. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. I see you, Sea Breeze. I thank you. You guys do me a favor and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I appreciate you very, very much. Hey, Victoria. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Nicci, did you see your content on AT2 yesterday? You're worldwide. I did not see my content on AT2. Is AT2 another YouTuber? Hey, y'all, listen, I'm hanging out with my people. You feel me? All right, let's see what's going on over here, you guys. We just warming up before we get into it. Biloxi, first timer. What's up, Biloxi, Mississippi? What's up, King Petty? I see you. Thank you guys for the roses that you gifted. Big K79 says, I saw what Selena was talking about. I hope you changed. Baby, I've changed, baby. What you want me to do? You want me to roll over and cook you a meal? What you want me to do? You want me to, come on now, Big Ken. We older than that now. That was 13 years ago. Let's grow the fuck up. I was just watching Meet the Browns. I appreciate Meet the Browns play. Thank you very, very much. Hey, Mimi, thank you. Title gifter 27 times. I don't even know what that means, but I appreciate it. It seems like a big deal. Please come in and like, share, and subscribe, beautiful people. Let's see, Nicci, things had gotten a little better for me. I was going through a crisis, but didn't realize how bad it was. I totally understand. Totally get it. It's interesting. I was looking at a post and they were talking about the number of, and I don't know if you're a woman of color or not, so please don't take offense to this. I'm just speaking from the perspective of a woman of color because that's what the post was about. But they were just talking about how we are breaking, like snapping, due to the pressure and not just, taking the time to just step away and breathe and woo-saw and, how important self-care is. And, I was reading the article and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, that sounds so wonderful to just make the decision to just stop and step away from it all and push away from the laptop and step away from the planning and the organization and the carpool and the dropping off and the quality time with the kids and the husband and everything. It seems so, wonderful to be able to just push a button and just say, you know what, I'm going to show up for myself and I'm not going to do all this extraneous stuff that's driving me crazy anymore. But unfortunately, a lot of us do not have the luxury. And I know that's dangerous to say because then you say, I don't have the luxury. And then you look around and something goes down and then you're like, you should have took the time out for yourself. So I definitely believe that it's true that we should take the time out. I just think that the cold hard reality for many of us is just that we don't have the luxury of taking that time off and taking that time away. So to any woman who's working triple time to make it do what it do, I appreciate you guys so, so, so much. And I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And I thank you. Okay. Big Ken really wants my attention, you guys. Let me spend a little bit of time talking about Big Ken because I was actually going to talk about the show. Big Ken. He says you were a mess on that show. Did y'all end up going on that so-called tour? What's televised is forever, child. How can we not talk about it? Exactly. Every time I get on live, somebody wants to say what a terrible, awful, god-awful, terrible person I am. Ken, I'm going to give you the floor because you know what? We do that here. We give everybody the opportunity to share how they're feeling. So Ken, Big K, I'm sorry. I keep calling you Ken. I'm sorry. Big K79 says I was a mess, a terrible person on R&B Divas. Big K, I put a challenge out and you should actually take advantage of this challenge. I would like for you to find the clip. And if you can't find the clip, you can give me like kind of a loose scenario. Like you can give me, as a matter of fact, I think I said 4 and then I said 3. I want you to give me 2. I want you to give me 2 scenarios of me just being a horrible person on R&B Divas. Big K79. I want you to give me a scenario where it's like, she was just a bitch. She was just terrible. She just did some terrible shit to the people. Because that's why I have R&B Divas on my background on TikTok. We are definitely going to get into the R&B Divas thing, you guys. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button as you come in. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button as you come in. Come on, Ken. We're gonna have some conversation about it. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm exaggerating. Big Ken did not say that I was okay. Juicy said, "Bye, child. Bye. You were the worst." Come on, Juicy and Big Ken. I'm here for it. I am here for it. I want you to give me the examples of me being the worst. Child, you were the worst. Because we playing the episodes. And so far, I haven't gotten to the worst yet. So I would like to hear it. And I'm not I'm not doing that to be sarcastic or messy or nasty. I just know for certain that you know, I wasn't a terrible person on R&B Divas. There's nothing you could say to make me feel like I was. You might not like me. You might not like the way I talk. You might not like the way I handle my motherfucking business. You might not like the fact that I was the creator of the show and I was no nonsense and I say what I've got to say. But I want you to show me where I was messy. I want you to tell me where I was messy or a bad person or somebody who sabotaged the tour. Come on, let's do it. Let's open up the flow. Let's get this party started, because y'all be talking hella shit and don't know what you're talking about. For those of you who do know the real deal, okay, no, you had issues. What were the issues? I want y'all to point out the issues. I'm not taking no, what I'm never going to do is point out that somebody did something and then not be able to point out where they did it. You feel me? I'm never going to be like, you were a bitch. You were terrible. You were so mean to those ladies, and never be able to point out specific incidents. And all I asked for was 2. Baby, we got all night. You know how these nights with Nicci things go. We got all night. Come on, TikTokers. I had issues. What were they? The issue with you and Selena. What was the issue with me and Selena? Said you were a legend. Don't worry about those people. No, I want to talk to these people. I do. My husband be saying the same thing. Ignore those people. Most people say ignore them, but no, that's not fair. Because if I'm going to answer questions from people who like me and people who support me, then damn it, I should be answering questions from people who don't. I mean, I'm an equal opportunity answer questioner. And I need my glasses, except I need my other glasses. Here they go. It doesn't really, I'm going to tell you what bothers me. We're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to get into some of my topics, and I'm going to give you guys the opportunity. Yeah, these are better. I can see better. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity. The issue with you and Selena. I keep hearing the issue with you and Selena, but I need somebody to be specific. I don't think anyone remembers specific from the show 10 years ago. Right. You don't remember specifics from a show 10 years ago, but you're coming in here. It wasn't 10 years ago. It was 13 years ago. You don't remember specifics from a show 13 years ago, but you're coming on here talking to me about some shit that happened 13 years ago that you don't remember. That doesn't make sense. That wouldn't fly in a court of law. I have the episodes up there. I remember the show clearly. Good production. Yes, production was great, except they were very messy. 13 years ago. Wow, it's been that long. It has been 13 years ago. Yes, great. It's Aunt Vera. You look so different. Thank you very much. Let's talk about purchasing your first album in 1995. Thank you, Pixie Queen. Shout out to Pixie Queen. Big love. Thank you for purchasing the Brownstone album in 1995. Where did you watch? If you want to watch the episode 1 and episode 2 of R&B Divas, you can watch them both on WIRF.tv, but don't leave right now to go watch them. Please watch them after this live. Okay, guys, I'm going to get into, hold on. I told you, the other thing, TikTok, y'all might have missed this part. So I'm entering my villain era. So, you know, in my villain era, I want to embrace, and before you guys think that by villain era, I know I got silver streaks in my hair looking like Cruella DeVille and everything, but the truth is the villain era is really about self-care. And it's really about not tolerating disrespect. It's really about allowing yourself to be the villain in someone else's story. So since I am walking into that era with my arms wide open, Big K and anybody else over here, let's talk about it. I don't want to make you feel like I'm being sarcastic. Okay. But I do really want to know, because if anything, that show did a number on me. Financially, mentally, emotionally, as far as my reputation is concerned, and I didn't deserve it. So we can talk about that too. I'm in that season where I'm just gonna tell it like it is, baby. And it was some bullshit. And not only do I feel that way, every woman attached to the R&B Divas franchise, most of them feel the same way. Many of them would never do the show again, and that has nothing to do with me. Because some of these ladies weren't even on my season. So there you have that. Let's see. Not trying to start mess, but what was the issue with you and Latasha Scott from years ago? Latasha Scott and I did not have any issues, right? As we get into this Q&A, right? If I don't want to answer your question, I won't answer it. So ask it. And if I don't want to answer it, then I won't answer it. But Latasha Scott and I did not have any issues. Let me tell you what happened right there. If y'all ask me specific questions, I'll answer them. If you bring up specific incidents, I'll answer them. Because what I would really like for you to do, Big K, and anybody else who like, girl, you was a mess on that show. You was terrible on that show. I could stand you on that show. I want you and I to become friends. At least on social media. I want you to continue to follow me. I want you to continue to watch my content. I want you to subscribe to my channel. And I want you to hit like, share, and subscribe. I don't want no beef with you. We too old for that. That's why I started this off by saying you should go over and watch the video with Teslin Figaro and Funky Geneva and how she talked about what we need to be doing as it relates to politics and community and coming together and unifying and working together as one. It's so important for us to do that as a community. So, so, so important. So I want to make sure I give you guys the floor so that you can air your grievances about me from 13 years ago. And like many people on this have already shared, you probably don't even remember why you got an attitude with me. I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to break down the second episode, which we played. Let me see. Do I have that? I believe I do. I'm going to share some clips with you guys, but I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about so that you guys can understand how the manipulation in reality TV is just out of control, y'all. It's just, it's so out of control. It don't make no sense, man. Please don't pay attention to that. I know you guys, thank y'all for having my back. And if you don't talk with Miss Nicci, right, exactly. They wanted a villain on the show and easily picked you out because you are a direct Cancer. Actually, I'm a Cancer. You was the star of the show. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Nicci. Hi, Japan. I see you, Japan. It's because you're from Detroit. Remember, they did the same thing to Miss Ross. Hey, Ocean Dreaming. How are you? How are you guys? Okay. All right, so seriously, let's see. R&B Divas was good television. You wasn't a villain. Okay, so let me explain. Your passion for the show, people misread it as mean girl behavior. Thank you, I can take that. What's the word on your lawsuit with P Valley? I'll get into that later. Can you sing a line of Grapevine? Yes, I'll sing a line of Grapevine, but just not in this very moment. I wish the show had more seasons. It was so good. It's a lot of R&B Divas. You guys give me some hearts if you guys are fans of R&B Divas. I have a question. Would you and Selena ever have a sit down? Yes, absolutely. I would love to sit down with Selena. I think that would be awesome for us to sit down and just have a sister girl conversation. And, just if there is a hatchet to bury that motherfucker. You guys, please hit like. Please hit like as you come in. Please hit like as you come in. Please hit like as you come in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take the time to hit like. Let me see something, you guys. I'm gonna hold on. Let me see if I can send this over. Let me see. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough. Hold on. Cause we were about to get into these hot topics, but I see tons and tons of questions coming up about R&B Divas, and I want to make sure, because I've been on this R&B Divas posting. I've been on this R&B Divas posting thing. Let me play this clip for you guys real quick from the show, and then I am going to come back. Wait, is this it? Hold on, y'all. In Atlanta with my girl Egypt. In particular, young. Hold on. There I go messing stuff up. Okay, we'll just talk about it because I don't think I could pull this thing up in time. So yes, absolutely. Selena and I I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Selena. I welcome that. I want to sit down and have conversations with all of the divas. But let me give you guys a little background on reality TV and how the manipulation occurs, right? Because, I know that people believe a lot of what they see on television. So this is for Big K And it was somebody else on here on TikTok. I don't know who it was, and anybody else who has questions. All right. So episode 2. Let's talk about episode 2, for example. Episode 2 of R&B Divas, which is available on WIRF.tv, and there are several clips. I was going to watch it with you guys tonight, but I'm not. I get a little triggered from watching the episode, right? If I'm completely honest with you guys, I was going to watch it with y'all live last night. And instead of watching it, I just posted it because I got triggered. I got triggered when I was watching the episode because many of you don't know this, but in episode 102, the first episode was, basically we watched that together a couple nights ago, you guys. TikTok, if you weren't on, then you didn't get a chance to watch it. Please hit like, please hit the like button. Episode 1, great. We're going to do a charity album. You guys saw us sitting together. When I said I'm going to sing background, it was because going into this show, the viewers did not understand that, but the cast was clear. The producers was clear. Everybody was clear that I wanted to pursue my plus size clothing line. I wanted to pursue building my online business. And I wasn't really as passionate about music at the time. I understand that for a lot of people, you're like, but you crazy, you're seeking attention. It's not about seeking attention. It was just, the group Brownstone wasn't together. There was a lot of stuff connected to us being disbanded. I'm not going to do it all on the TikTok or the Instagram or the YouTube or none of that, because we do, in fact, have a whole documentary coming that's going to explain that. A lot of people are going to be shocked and surprised at some of what you hear on this here thing in this documentary. But let's get into the R&B Divas thing, because the R&B Divas thing has followed me for many years. And as much as a lot of people just be like, girl, get over it, just ignore them people, just keep it moving, it's very difficult, because the R&B Divas thing actually came up in my case against P Valley. I was actually asked about the R&B Divas situation during my deposition with P Valley. See, unlike them, who had the deposition redacted, I don't mind telling the truth about what happened at all, because why hide it? Okay, but let's talk about it. So episode 2, R&B Divas, was where the shenanigans began. Some of you have heard about me saying that during my Curvado fashion show, that was episode 2, a couple things started to happen. Number one, for those of you who are hardcore R&B Divas fans, and you guys can go back and look at the episode, I'm going to reference it in this conversation because I don't have time to play all the clips in between, but I'm just going to give y'all kind of like, the quick and dirty, and then you could go back and verify all of that stuff if you want to. So R&B Divas season 1, episode 2 opens up with me at the radio station with Egypt singing, having a fashion plus size model search. Then we go to Kiki in the studio recording, right? So let's talk about Kiki in the studio recording. So Kiki was in the studio recording the song. You'll see in the clip, and someone comes, I know the person who came up to her and passed her the note, and passed Michael, the note, right? If you guys remember, if you're a real hardcore R&B Divas fan, you remember there was a moment where Kiki was in the studio recording, and Toya from Patchwork came up to her and handed her the piece of paper. Well, first of all, Toya had no idea what she was being set up to do, right? Toya was instructed, and to this day, Toya has said to me, and I'm very good friends with Toya. Toya is one of the sweetest, kindest, smartest women that you'll ever know. She's just a wonderful woman, a really wonderful human being, right? And I'm explaining the long-winded way so you guys can understand that this just isn't really just about me. Please continue to give me plenty of hearts and plenty of likes as you come in here. But Toya was instructed by someone in production to go into the studio while Kiki was in the booth and pass Michael a note, right? So we know that Kiki has some insecurities about, or had. She's very transparent about it. I don't think she does anymore, but back then we were very clear that Kiki had a lot of insecurities about her relationships, her marriages, and stuff like that. So why would you have somebody, while this woman is 9 months pregnant, in the studio focused on recording, why would you have somebody just go in there and hand her husband a note privately that way? Because you wanted to stir the pot and stir up drama. So just FYI, the woman who passed the note, for the sake of her reputation, she wasn't doing nothing nefarious or shady or whatever. She was asked to do that through production, right? So thing number one, I'm saying in episode 2 of the first season is when the bullshit and the shenanigans began. So that was shenanigan number 1. Hey, go, and Toya was a pawn and didn't even know it. Exactly. She was just doing the favor that production was like, hey, could you go in there and hand this to Michael? So the second pawn in the situation that you guys know nothing about, right? Because I'm really tired of the smoke and mirrors, right? Because my business depends a lot on people liking me and people thinking I'm a decent person and people buying into what it is that we do and what we produce. And this R&B Divas thing has been lingering for 13 years. So we just gonna cut to the motherfucking chase. And I'm just gonna tell y'all what it is. And if you choose not to believe it, that's on you. You just wanna not like me. But after I explain this to you, hopefully you have a little more breadth of a scope, of what really happened. So situation number 2, Ileana. So, mind you, I put every resource I had into my plus size clothing line, Curvado. Ileana was my seamstress. Wonderful girl. Had no issues with Ileana prior to her meeting the producers of R&B Divas. You will notice that for my fashion show, production didn't pay for my fashion show. Production didn't pay for my fabric. Production didn't pay for my seamstress. Production didn't pay for shit related to my production. However, production made it a point, I discovered after the fact, to tell my seamstress not to show up until right before we did the walk, the fashion walk. So I'm launching a whole clothing line on national television, and to make me frazzled and discombobulated and make things go not so great, production played the whole, Ileana, your call time for the fashion show isn't until 9:30 at night. I'm exaggerating, that wasn't the actual time, but that's the bullshit that went down on my fashion show day, right? When she came in, I didn't cuss her out. I didn't go off on her. Go look at the clip. It's right there. The proof is in the pudding. I didn't go off. I just looked at her and was like, really? That's what you're doing? Because you're not showing up to our Mother's Day brunch / my first fashion show / the second episode. Anybody else would have flipped out. Anybody else would have went off and flipped the table perhaps. Not me, because I was like, okay, if this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to be. You're not going to see me sweat. So she didn't show up. You saw us running around like a chicken without a head. So naturally, I'm a little frustrated and a bit flustered because of that, as anybody would be in those situations, right? Did not show up. You see us on the call going back and forth. The whole, somebody said, oh, she's always yelling for Jakeem. Well, Jakeem was my assistant. I have a high-pitched voice, much higher pitched 13 years ago than it is now. And yeah, Jakeem with my big ass mouth all the time. Rewind back to episode 1. I told you guys in episode 1, that whole thing with Selena and them just standing around and me doing all the work. What did I do to them? I wasn't a mean girl. I didn't cuss nobody out and say nothing shady or foul. Not at all. In fact, I just kept working and said, oh, okay, this is what we doing, having cocktails. Once again, I'm waiting for someone to point it out to me because it just didn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? And I understand that you guys think in your minds that maybe it did because, I don't know, but it didn't happen. So I'm going to give you one other final example. I gave you 2. Ooh, I'm hot, baby. Y'all got me hot talking about this shit. And it's so triggering. Hello? Actually, it's not that triggering. I'm going to tell you the part that is triggering, though. There is a part of this that is triggering because I'm human AF. So the straw that broke the camel's back. Mind you, this is episode 1. I'm sorry, episode 2 of season 1. Drink my protein shake. I'm drinking protein so y'all can stop calling me SpongeBob. I know, shady. So, episode 2, the straw that broke the camel's back. You will notice in the episode, we got kids present. All Kiki's kids are there. Selena's kids are there. It's a Mother's Day brunch. It's a fashion show launch. My daughter Brandy is there. We made a special arrangement because China wasn't going to be able to be there, for China to be there. All our kids, all our family, everybody's there. Ramona DeBro, who's a radio host here in Atlanta, and Ramona can verify this as well. I reached out to Ramona DeBro and I asked if she would co-host or host the fashion show for me, and as the women were coming out. She agreed to do that. They went up to Ramona DeBro. Let me wipe my sweat, y'all. They went up to Ramona DeBro, news and radio personality here in Atlanta, and they asked her, hey, Ramona, could you go over to Kiki's husband? Mind you, Kiki is 9 months pregnant, and by they, I mean production. Ramona, keep in mind, Mother's Day brunch. Monifa and her daughter haven't seen each other. This is the first Mother's Day they spending together. China done flew in from LA. Kiki pregnant. She got her babies. And they asked Ramona DeBro, will you please go over and flirt with Kiki's husband? She said, what? What are you? What? She lost it on that. Never mind. We were joking. Blah, 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 blah. To this day, Ramona talks to me about this. Do you understand? To this day, Ramona is scarred because, not scarred, that's a little dramatic, but imagine the audacity of you coming to host someone's fashion show. Big K, you listening? Because I'm talking to you and anybody else who talks about what a horrible bitch I am. I'm telling you what happened from season 1, episode 2. So you got some clarity and you're not just believing all the bullshit, right? So they go over to Ramona. They say, Ramona, we need you to flirt with Kiki's husband. Ramona said, no, absolutely not. I will not do it. What is this? You better be glad Nicci is my friend because I will walk out of here right now. No, please don't walk out. Please don't walk out. We need you here. Bye-bye. So when Ramona said no, guess what they did? This is the fashion show. You guys watched the episode. We laughed through it. We cried through it. Remember the kids? They went to my daughter. And they said, hey, so you're sitting next to Kiki. We want you to just rub Michael's leg. You go to my daughter during a Mother's Day brunch, during the fashion show, while all the families and the children and the guests are there. We're in this big, beautiful mansion. And you ask her to sexually rub his leg, put your hand on his leg. How dare you? This is episode 2 of season 1. And how do I know this? Because after we wrapped the fashion show, my husband came up to me and said, hey, come here. And he walked me over to production. Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Tell her what you did. Now, my husband is 6'8", military veteran, Marines, all day. Tell her what you did. This production. Bad TV call. We made a really bad TV call. What are y'all, what happened? Well, we kind of asked your daughter. So imagine you on a TV show that you created, doing a fashion show, and production is coming to you saying that they asked your friend that you asked to co-host and your daughter to sexually proposition someone's husband. They didn't ask them to have, I should be watching my words because I know these apps don't like those words, but to touch inappropriately Kiki Wyatt's husband while she's 9 months pregnant and all her kids there, and we're doing all of it. So I don't know what world we live in where I'm not expected to then start to say, this is a setup. Now every time I come to work, now every time I show up on set, please hit like, you guys. Please hit the like button. I'm giving you guys backstory. Some of you might have heard this. Some of you may not have heard this, but I just feel like it's time to just go on ahead and let this cat out this bag because I'm tired of people just assuming that I was just this horrible, god-awful bitch who made life difficult for everybody. So needless to say, they asked my daughter and they apologized and we're so sorry, and this was a bad TV call, and it'll never happen again. But who trusts you after that? Where is my trust coming from here on this here show? And every single solitary day of filming R&B Divas from that day forward, because of what my reaction was to what they did, was navigating a minefield. We had people quit on the show. Producers quit. This is all verifiable, baby. I got emails. I don't just be on here rambling talking about shit that I can't support. You know what I'm saying? I was not nice. That's the reason why they asked my friend and my daughter to disrespect Kiki's husband in episode 2. We're 2 episodes in, people. Right? Why are you talking about I was not nice? Not production wasn't nice for asking your daughter to touch Kiki's husband, or asking your good friend Ramona DeBro to touch Kiki's husband. Not production was out of line. Not production was out of control, but I wasn't nice. Okay? This is the problem with us, people. This is the problem with us. Right? So anyway, every day, every second of every day in season 1 and season 2 was pure hell, just because from that point on, we knew that we had gotten into a setup. From that point on, we knew that we were navigating a minefield. From that point on, we knew that they were going to play those production games with us, trying to turn this into Love and Hip Hop and trying to turn this into the Housewives. And they were going to go and, another thing, oh, you guys, the way you did with that tour, y'all don't even know what the hell y'all talking about. And you don't know what you're talking about because you never got an opportunity to see or be exposed to the truth of what really went on the show, right? And it's just really sad because I never cussed nobody out. I never raised my voice and got up in nobody's face. Never once. I never one time, bitch, I'll beat your motherfucking, I will beat your, y'all never saw me do that one time. And I need you to point it out if you did. I know that it didn't happen because I've gone back and relived the experience, and it just never happened. I never raised my voice. I never didn't show up for my friends. Why would I be disrespectful to Selena and I brought her on board? Why would I be disrespectful to Monifa when Monifa said in the clip, I was addicted to drugs a year prior to R&B Divas coming along? They didn't even want certain people on the show, and I fought for them because they were my friends. Right? I stood in the gap for Black women every single time. You guys thought I was yelling when I was holding a baby. I wasn't yelling at the ladies. I was talking to production. Period. So there was never a moment ever on the show where I disrespected anybody. The one moment I take accountability for and I apologize for was the one moment I called Angie out of her name, not to her face, but when we were having a conversation with me, Monifa, Kiki, and her husband. I called her a fat ass, and I shouldn't have done that because I'm a fat ass too, but I felt entitled to because, two fat asses, one could call another fat ass. I felt like that, but that's just mean. I shouldn't have said that. I said her fat ass or her big ass or something. I didn't say fat ass or something, but whatever it wasn't okay. And I'll tell you that it was not okay. But the entire SpongeBob knock knee, whatever scenario, I sat there with a teacup in my hand and pinky finger out. And there was never a moment ever where I disrespected one woman on that show. And that is why I say, if you saw it, point it out, because maybe there's something I need to learn about something that I didn't see. Maybe I have some blinders on that I didn't see. And what's so unfair about it is there's so many people out here who have this idea that, and a lot of people don't get it twisted, intelligent, emotionally intelligent people who don't, get caught up in the bullshit and the hype, are pretty clear that, I will tell you this, though, this might be the thing that was hard for some people to swallow or to digest. I come across a little, gritty on TV because I'm so transparent and real. Somebody could take segments of my lives right here on Instagram and TikTok and whatever, and they could edit it together to make it look like I was this crazy woman talking shit, cussing, digging in my nose, burping. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can edit a story based on sound bites and bits and pieces. And that is why I try to encourage our community every opportunity that I get. Read the story and not the headlines. We get so caught up on reading the headlines. We get so caught up on reading the blogs. We get so caught in the hype of shit that we don't think for ourselves, and we are not emotionally intelligent. And I think that that's sad. And the other thing is, look, I'm not even gonna hold y'all up. And this may be a little controversial, and maybe this may be a little petty, and maybe this may make some people not like me. But at this point, especially at 55, I really don't give a flying frog leg. The other part of it is I had a storyline. I had multiple storylines. I had the storylines. Outside of, you had the legend that was Faith, who all she had to do was show up and look pretty, and she was great television. I was looking back on some clips, and I'm like, Faith Renee Evans is classic, great TV. Just awesome, great TV. You also had Keke Wyatt, hands down, without a doubt, one of the most compelling TV personalities that you will ever see, which is part of the reason why Keke has millions of followers right now. When it comes to like launching businesses, being a boss bitch, I'm sorry, I hate to say it like that, but that's what I was. That's who I am. And sometimes that comes off a little abrasive because it reminds you of your boss or your employer or the person who's in charge of the shit that you do. And some people can't handle that very well. So they lean into the adversarial relationship. And I believe that that is what happened. I think sometimes when you don't really have a storyline that's really resonating like that, maybe your storyline becomes beefing with the person whose storyline does. I don't know. I'm just saying. I know that the entire first season, I was a very prominent and dominant, I will accept that, personality and force on the show. And that might have not have gone over so well with some people. Hindsight being 2020, as you look at it, we know. All right, I've been talking a whole lot for way too long. Why y'all ain't shut me up? Deshaun says, looking back, they had to make you the Nene of the show. Nene was pretty much the villain. Yep, absolutely. Well, but Nene was also the star of the show. I mean, just come on, Erica Kane. Who else? You're not, there was a moment when you told Selena, let me finish, in a stern way. Could you explain? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. I appreciate that. This is what I mean. Who is this? Andrea Moffat. Hold on. She says, this all I'm looking for. These are the moments that I'm looking for. Thank you, Andrea. Shout out to Andrea. Thank you, sis. I love it. I love I love questions like this. Get your questions ready. She said, there was a moment that you told Selena, let me finish, in a stern way. Could you explain that? I just want to know, maybe you were trying to explain something and didn't realize you did that. I absolutely realized that I did that. And let me tell y'all something about reality TV. This is a perfect example of what I am talking about. Because what's so funny is when we walked out of the room, one of the producers was like, wow, she would not let you talk. She would just not let you. I sat intentionally, right? Because I was like, oh, you're not going to get me up in here with that. I intentionally sat through that situation and allowed Selena to explain her entire issue. Her entire beef. Did not say one word. That's why when you look at the conversation, it's cutting back and it looks like I'm kind of just like checked out, but I'm actively listening to what she's saying. Even Monifa was like, Selena, let her finish, right? So I'm sitting there waiting for my opportunity to speak, and I start to speak, and Selena gets loud and aggressive. And if you look back at the situation, it did not play out in the time on TV that it took to have that conversation. Just think about this. Let me give y'all some reality TV 101 for those of you who don't know. When you see two people sitting down having a conversation, I think it was on Love and Hip Hop. You guys remember on Love and Hip Hop where there's a conversation with Ray J, and 1 minute his hat to the side, the next minute his hat off, the next minute it's sliding down the back, right? It's because these conversations and these scenes, what you get in a 5-minute scene or a 4-minute scene or whatever, takes almost, sometimes some things going for 2 hours. So imagine you sitting down talking to somebody for an hour or longer than that. It's cut down to 4 minutes. And it's cut down to 4 minutes because the goal of the producers is to make it appear as though I am disrespecting Selena Johnson. That I'm trying to be the bossy control freak. And she's the, what do you call it? Put it this way. You got a woman on the show who created the show, who's very straightforward and says what she has to say, never once had the intention of ill will for any of those women. Anybody, I think if you ask one of them, any of them right now, nobody will ever tell you, yeah, Nicci was out to get us. Yeah, she was shady as fuck. She was really trying to, nobody's going to say that. Nobody telling the truth is going to say that shit, right? Nobody's going to say that because it's not true. But what you'll get is you have a woman on the show who believes that she's underrated. You have a woman on the show who doesn't believe that she gets the respect that she deserves. That's Selena. Selena said it a lot of times. You know, keep in mind, a lot of people don't know this, but I created the show. And not just I created the show like, hey, I have an idea, but they were a part of Soul Kitten's Cabaret, right? So they're used to me being a director. Selena, Monifa, Faith, all of those women are used to me being in a position of being their director or their producer or the person that's in control of this particular situation. Now, if it was Selena's thing, like when I did her workout DVD, I didn't come in her workout DVD trying to tell her how to do her workout DVD. In her workout DVD, she was directing me. So I shut the fuck up and did what she told me to do. I was there present in her project doing, and I didn't view R&B Divas as my project. I viewed it as ours. But my point is, it wasn't foreign for Selena or Monifa or Angie or any of those women to work with me in a capacity where I'm the director or I'm the person who's running the show, right? So granted, maybe there was a situation here or there where I got frustrated and a little short. We all do. But if I was a horrible person, keep in mind, we don't work together for years. These bitches would not be working with me if I was a bad person, right? Keep in mind, Monifa had just kicked a drug habit a year prior. No disrespect. That's not to be shady. She just talked about it. She said it herself. Selena said in episode 1 that she got put out of her house and they was about to be homeless. And I offered for her to live with me. There's no way we would be working together in that capacity if I was that person. Come on now. Use your critical thinking skills. So to answer your question, Andrea, I said, let me finish. Oh, that's the scene. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. And then on that, when I got up and I walked out and they called me Norma Desmond, the reason I was so frustrated in that situation, I left this very important thing out. And you guys don't know this because I was thinking about another situation, actually, when I was answering it before. Now I know exactly which one you're talking about. You guys didn't know this because they didn't air this. But before we went to that restaurant, I think we were at Twist in Lenox. Number one, I came late. And technically, I didn't come late because in reality TV, what you don't know, here's another this then turned into the reality TV show. I guess I'm going to do my topics tomorrow. I keep them lined up to do them tomorrow because we already an hour into this and I've been talking about R&B Divas the whole damn time, but that's what y'all want to know about. And P Valley, I get it. But at Twist, I came at my call time. And a lot of times if you come, they'll have you waiting outside. Like they had me waiting outside Selena's house for 3 hours while they all had dinner at her house. I didn't know where I was going. I had no idea, so it wasn't intentional. They had me waiting for 3 hours at the beginning of season 2. But in season 1, when I said, let me finish, the reason why there was an issue is because they held me and told me not to come into the restaurant, right? So I'm sitting, I'm waiting. I come into the restaurant. I don't decide what the seating chart is. I'm not deciding what. I come in and they got me sitting at the head of the table. I didn't choose to sit at the head of the table. I just walked into the fucking restaurant, into the dining room. And I even said, oh, I'm at the head of the table. Oh, y'all got me here. Here we go with this shit again. Right? Come on, y'all. Give me some hearts if you follow me. Do you get the picture that's being painted? Give me some hearts if you understand. I come in late, allegedly, because they have held me and told me not to come until they tell me when to come in. It's my job. I'm a producer. I'm not showing up late just randomly. And I come in and they got me sitting at the head of the table. I didn't ask to sit at the head of the table. Number one, that was positioning. let's sit Nicci here. And it's always, no, you're sitting here because, and they have to light these situations. So keep in mind, you don't just come into something and just start talking. They got to light the shit. They got to figure out who's sitting where. It's a production. So I didn't make the decision. Hey, you guys, make sure you leave the head of the table for me. Make sure that I'm sitting at the head of the table when I walk in this motherfucker. I didn't do that. Production did. So naturally, they got them waiting. While they're waiting, Faith Evans sent some drinks for you guys. I'm like, oh, we finna do this drinking thing again, right? So prior to us getting to the table with the drinks, talk about unpacking R&B divas. Lord God, please hit the like button, you guys. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button, right? So prior to us getting there, the day before, Selena and I met, and we met at a restaurant. And Selena said, initially, we were talking about her anger management issues, and she said, some stuff that she was having with her mother. And so then we talked about Kiki, and we were like, yeah, Kiki's got a lot of stuff going on, whatever. Selena and I said, we should have this conversation, right? If you remember, Andrea, I said, I thought we weren't going to do it this way. Selena and I said, let's have the conversation. I said, but let's do it someplace like after we go get a massage. Let's not have any drinks. Like, let's have the conversation like, so because she's about to induce labor, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not play the game because we see what production's doing. Let's not let them manipulate us. Let's do it positive, right? No liquor, no whatever. Because Kiki'd already reached out to me like, Nicci, listen, I'm pregnant, so I'm not really drinking like that. And everybody else drinking around me and attacking me while I'm pregnant is not going to fly. So this is when everybody's thinking that I brought them on board. I'm the producer who introduced this to them. They can come to me and ask me to help make the situation better. Little did I know I didn't have no ownership, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, which is the key to all of it. So I had no real control, which is another thing I was discovering in the process, which might have been part of the chip on my shoulder. But anyway, as we're sitting there having this conversation, all of a sudden we bring up these issues that Selena and I had decided that we were going to talk about under healthier, let's wait till she has the baby. So what y'all might not remember or be aware of, because y'all be telling me when I got something in my nose. What y'all might not remember or be aware of in that scene, the next day after we left Twist, we all knew that she was going to induce her labor. So here we are in a bar or a restaurant, drinking, putting this lady's back up against the wall, less than 24 hours before she goes to induce labor. I just wasn't here for it. So when I said, let me finish, the reason I said, let me finish was because the whole time we sitting at this table, Monifa and Selena are unloading on Kiki, which is why, and you guys didn't see the whole conversation. Again, we had a whole dinner, 3 bottles of champagne get downed in the setting. And well, maybe I'm exaggerating. It was 2 bottles that she sent. Maybe it was 3. I don't know. Shit, but enough, 2. You know what I mean? I wasn't drinking because I knew what the setup was. Keep in mind, I know because in episode 2, and in episode 1, they already been setting me up for the okie doke. So you bring me into a restaurant, sit me in the front seat, the head of the table, and you know I'm going to have a problem with the fact that we're having a conversation that Selena and I both agreed we would have in a healthier environment, a safer environment, one where she has had her baby safely and she is not under the stress of somebody trying to come after her husband. Or, is your husband always going to be here? Like, who does that to a pregnant woman? Yeah, I had an attitude. Yeah, I was very uncomfortable being in a situation where we have a woman in our cast who is about to pop. Well, not that sounds bad, but about to give birth. And we just keep poking the bear. We just keep poking the bear. Why are we poking the bear? Because we know we're going to get a reaction from Kiki. Because we know that Kiki is going to react a certain way. By this time, we all know this. So when I said, let me finish, it was because I had been trying to talk in that conversation. And I had been trying to tell Selena, you betrayed my trust, friend, because you said we were not going to have this conversation this way. So this lady crying, she talking about a dented can of string beans. And imagine the emotional trauma that she had to endure at a table full of people, pointing the finger and talking crazy. And I felt like it was talking crazy because it's not your business to tell her that she shouldn't have her husband with her all the time. Y'all don't know what kind of generational trauma or demons or whatever that woman has had to deal with, where she maybe feels like she needs her security blanket, especially lest we forget she's 9 months pregnant. So that makes her triple the emotional. So we're taking advantage of that as an opportunity to just poke. And you can say what the hell you want to say about me. But one thing I'm not going to do is sit around and watch somebody get bullied or sit around and watch somebody get disrespected on my watch, on the show that I created and on the show that I invited y'all to be a part of. So yeah, my attitude might have been a little saucy in that moment because I was quite disappointed that, number one, I couldn't get it word in edgewise. And number two, I was sitting there so disappointed because, ma'am, before we got to this table, me and you said we wasn't going to do this. So it wasn't about me. Every time there's a situation where you think you saw me just being controlling and going off or whatever, it was either me having frustration with production because they kept the cameras rolling. So even in the situation where I was talking to their asses, they cut and edited it around and make it seem like I was talking to the ladies. That was not what was happening at all. I was talking directly to them, and I was talking to them because I felt like they were disrespecting Black women. And I said to them in that moment, as a matter of fact, if you keep doing television like this, the show's not going to last and nobody's going to want to do it, because who's going to want to watch us get beat up on, watch us have our reputations get thrown in the garbage and actually set themselves up to do it? And that, my friends, is why the shit went away. And it's been 13 years since you had another episode, because people don't ever listen to Black women. And the production company that put the show on was not Black. Although the brothers that we hired, gave a position to, fought for them to have in-ears and to be in Video Village, they wasn't even allowing them in Video Village, which is for those of you who don't know, it's the place where everybody watches the screen to see what's happening in a separate room somewhere. But they weren't even allowed to do that. Faith and I had to fight for them to be able to do that. And the reason we fought for them to be able to do that is because we said we need somebody who has ears and eyes on the ground, who loves us, who knows that we don't deserve to be treated a certain way and will have our back. And they did not do that. Right? So I understand. I said this the other day. I completely understand what Monique means when she says I deserve an apology, because the way my reputation was played with, the way my business was played with, Curvado was well on its way, baby. I was on the conversation with the head of Charm Shops, who runs all of the major plus size brands. And I got emails I wasn't supposed to get. It was just a bunch of shenanigans and tomfoolery and who shot John going on with those producers behind the scenes. And I knew about it. And unfortunately, because I had a contract, I had to show up to work every day feeling tortured and feeling like I couldn't be honest about what was going on. How many times do you need somebody to tell your daughter to proposition somebody's husband? How many times do you need somebody's friend? How many times do you need a bang bang or a pow pow pulled on your husband? Like, how dare you say I had no, what, I was the problem? When Selena's the whole reason why there was a gun incident where a gun was pulled on my husband. No shade. I mean, I'm not beefing with her now, but let's tell the truth about it. We should be able to tell the truth all these years later. It was the issue with the whole SpongeBob SquarePants, that whole moment. After that moment, Latasha Scott's husband pulled a pow pow out on my husband. And I'm supposed to be pleasant with that. Man, stop. Y'all get the fuck out of here. Get some emotional intelligence about yourselves. And that's just for those of you who, and Andre, I don't mean you. That conversation was actually very emotionally intelligent. You're resolute and strong conviction. I love it. You have low tolerance for BS. I do. You were the consummate professional on that show. You checked what needed to be checked, and you were the guardrails, period. I was the creator of the show. Do you think that Mara Brock is going to allow her cast to talk to her any old kind of way? Do you think that Shonda Rhimes is going to allow her cast to talk to them any old kind of way? The only place a creator of a series gets disrespected is if your name is Shawnee, Nicci, or Mariah Huck, or Nene Leakes, or anybody else who was instrumental in creating it, because they want to divide and to conquer. There is no reality television production company on the planet that cares about the relationships between the women on the show. I am a producer that cares. Anybody else who tells you that, girl, bye. 52 minutes late. You're not that late. I get how people don't understand editing and editing that's done in a way to make shows. Yeah, you can edit anything. You can edit anything, you guys. You can edit anything to be anything. There were things that we didn't even say in the same context. Out of context is a big thing, right? If they ask you a question, if they say to you, so Nicci, how'd you feel about that jalapeno? Man, that was trash. It was terrible. It was the worst shit ever. It was hot. It was spicy. You know, it was blah, 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 blah. And they're going to cut around it. And then the question is going to be, how do you think about Selena's house? And they'll use that same explanation of the jalapeno pepper. It was hot. It was nasty. It was da 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 da. That is what happens when you're watching reality TV. That's an extreme example, but that is exactly what happens. The tour. Oh, you ruined the tour. Oh, you ruined the tour. All everybody wanted to do was go on tour. It doesn't matter how many times Faith tell y'all. The whole concept that Nicci had when she wanted to bring this thing together was a tour. Because that was the whole concept. I wasn't trying to record a new album. I wasn't trying to do new music. If we go on tour, because I had a promoter lined up, then I'm willing to do that. What happens in season 2? Huh? What happens in season 2, episode 1? After, if you've heard this, bear with me. This is another thing that you people who are like, you were not nice. You were so mean. You were so disrespectful. You were so nasty. After season 1, when I realized that the producers were trying to boot me out of the show that I created. Because basically, you guys, long story short, that's all they were trying to do. Just like we did not get to the story tonight, and we'll get to it tomorrow, but just like the founder with the products in Ulta Beauty, or was it Sephora? I don't know. I don't want to start naming people because I don't know, and I don't want nobody saying that, whatever. But anyway, Black women creators are always targets. Black men are different because they'll beat your ass or threaten to beat your ass. They don't mess with them as much. You know what I'm saying? And no shade. If you're a gay Black man, you really don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just, but a Black woman who speaks her mind, a Black woman who creates something special and knows that she created something special, a confident Black woman who's no nonsense, every single time is going to be a target to be called angry, to be called difficult, to be called delusional, to be called crazy. To this day, and what's really crazy, this is the crazy shit, right? To this day, the Black producer is still going around telling people I'm crazy. The Black producer is still going around telling people I'm the reason the franchise fell apart. The Black producer is still going around saying there's just this one person. There was just one person on the show who was a terror. Nigga, you wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for me. I am the reason that you had a headset and you were in Video Village. Faith asked me to give you the shot, and I gave it to you because my friend Faith asked me. And I gave it to you because I thought, hey, listen, here's somebody who will have our back. And this is the same person who to this day, weeks ago, still talking shit about me. And guess what? Here's the gag. The production company has apologized to me a couple of times to my face. What happened on the show shouldn't happen. I'm really sorry. We had a great thing. I'm sorry that happened. Matter of fact, that's one of the people who told me about the trademark potentially being available or me being able to use to go on tour. Please, they apologized to me. The reason I talk about it to this day is because it keeps coming up because a lot of people in social media still have this fresh image of this, tyrant going through knocking shit off tables and yelling out directions to people and sitting at the head of the table all the time, not knowing that I never planned that. Getting to Selena's house 3 hours late was no plan of my own. It was production. So naturally, when I walk into her house and I'm 2.5, 3 hours late, she got an attitude and say it's a chair over there. And I get a baby chair where I'm sitting with my chin up to the counter of the table. And then she tell me to get out and suck 10 bags of what? Because she's frustrated, because she's been manipulated to think that I'm just saying F you and I'll come when I want to come and oh, well, it don't matter and this and that and the third. Another thing, Kiki's, was this season 1? Or no, this wasn't season 1. This was season 1 or season 2? Shit, I don't even remember when we went to DC. and they put them on that bus. That's when me and Selena had a knockdown, drag out argument that was not recorded. Because see, I don't need to do that on camera, but I'm going to call you up after the fact and say, listen, I didn't appreciate it. So Selena had alleged that we put them on a bus, a tour bus that didn't have any air conditioning after Kiki had just given birth to her child. On a hot tour bus with no air conditioning going all the way to DC. Nicci and Faith picked this bus out. I had no idea them people was going to be on a bus. My contract said if I need to go any place that takes longer than 2.5 hours to drive, as a creator and an executive producer of the series, Faith and I would be flying first class. That wasn't me being a bitch. That wasn't me trying to put nobody else out. That was me being the person who created the show as an executive producer of the series that said, if you need me to travel, I'm not going to get in a car and drive for longer than such and such and such and such, because we got business and kids and home and responsibilities and whatever. That was a contractual thing. And guess what? The word on the street, I'm sorry, you guys, I got to turn this fan on for a minute. The word on the street was that I put them on a van. So I called Selena and I was like, why would you think that I would put y'all on a broke down van to travel from DC, from Atlanta to DC? Why would you think I would even, because and it went all the way left. That was one situation where it went all the way left. We went left with each other, because how dare you insult my integrity and my character that way? I would never do something like that. And especially knowing the manipulation and the shenanigans that these producers pulling on this show, why would you think I would even do that? So what you guys saw, what you were exposed to, were women who were traumatized consistently. Like I said, there was a woman on the show who quit. She was like, I can't do this anymore. Why? Because they told her, every time you come to the set, you make sure that you have cocktails as needed and anything else is needed. And that was a big problem for me, because on most reality shows, not just R&B Divas, most all of the reality shows, the big problem is that there's so much alcohol on set. Ask any reality TV person, ask any one of them, and they'll tell you. They don't pay for food, but they'll pay for liquor. In a heartbeat, it'll be liquor. And we're like, no, this isn't what we're doing. This isn't the show. So guess what? Nicci's a control freak. She thinks she's somebody's mama. Now she's trying to protect her friends. Now she's trying to protect the integrity of the show. Now she's trying to prevent the show from turning into something that gets canceled after 3 seasons that nobody else wants to fuck with. None of that. I'm just being difficult. Come on, y'all. Put on your emotional thinking, emotional intelligence caps. Come on now. What about when you showed up to Selena's house and got put out? What really happened? I was just going into that one. When I showed up to Selena's house, thank y'all for bringing these moments up, because these moments are important. And what's really crazy to me, right, you guys? This is what's really crazy to me. People just didn't want to like me. Because how is it? I didn't stand up and get in her face and say, you can get the F out and you can suck 10 bags of D's and you can. It's crazy to me that people thought I bullied Selena. First of all, we the same height. We both from Chicago and we both stay ready. One of us is more vocal about it. The other is like, just don't swing. Because when you swing, we're going to be two bulls in a china shop, right? But ain't never scared. She ain't scared. I ain't scared. Ain't never been and never will be, period. So that part of it was never I was bullying her. No, I was always the person who got cussed out and got put the fuck out. How was I the problem? I don't understand. Where are our emotionally intelligent thinking people in this motherfucker? Excuse me, I'm cussing. It's late. It's after midnight. And the algorithm is not going to do nothing with this video. Not with this video, but throw it off to the side. I never disrespected that woman. The problem in Selena's house was before season 2, TV One, the CEO of Think Factory, all of the big bosses of the production companies and the network flew me to DC because I had decided I was not coming back. I decided I was not coming back because that whole Nicci didn't introduce Selena at the Essence Awards. just like somebody on the comments said, there's a whole video you hear me introducing Selena at the end of the Essence thing. I introduced Selena, but they're gonna paint the narrative that I'm just so jealous of Selena, or I'm so mad at Selena. And mind you, this isn't even about me and Selena beefing, because I love Selena and I don't have a problem with Selena. And today I feel like we'll get along just fine. But you have to get to the root cause of the problem, which is the reason I welcome the conversation. And it's probably the reason why we haven't had a conversation. Because in a real conversation, it's going to be like, now you know I introduced you at the end of the Essence Festival, sis. Why would you let that lie ride? I'm not mad about it, but people think I was just so nasty that I just walked off and didn't introduce her. That's a lie. I did. But they painted the picture that I did not. And after that, paired with them asking my daughter to proposition Kiki's husband, asking my friend to proposition Kiki's husband, asking my other friend in Patchwork to go and give a letter to Kiki's husband. Just think about it. I mean, imagine that. Every corner you turn, you got somebody trying to proposition your husband just so they can get a rise out of you. Come on, y'all. Let me put on my lip gloss while y'all marinate and hit like. Come on, hit them likes. Come on, y'all, hit them likes. Imagine you're in Kiki's shoes. Let's switch it off. Let's take it off of me for a minute. Imagine you're in Kiki's shoes. She crazy. She insecure. She crazy. She insecure. But every opportunity them motherfuckers had to have somebody pass her husband a letter in the studio, want my daughter to rub her husband's thigh at a fashion show, wants Ramona DeBro to proposition him at my fashion show. Every time you look up, they were intentionally trying to agitate Kiki Wyatt while she was 9 months pregnant. And I'm supposed to just, oh, well, I don't hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. I'm just a monkey on the table with my hand covering up my mouth, hand covering up my eyes, and a hand covering up my ears. I don't see shit. No, I'm not going to do that. Because I asked each of these women to be a part of this. I cast the show. I'm the creator of the show. And that's the reason why I care so much about it, because I created the series and I cast the series and I trusted it with some people who promised us that they wouldn't do this shit. And that's exactly what they did. So while you guys think I'm just out here in these streets just being horrible, I was experiencing on the job trauma, as was everybody else who participated in this series. So back to the question about at Selena's house, when she told me to get out and suck 10 bags or whatever, didn't give me no food. The food was eaten up and just clowned me. I told production I wasn't coming back in DC. The network said, if you don't come back, the show's not coming back. Period. I have no reason to lie. I have all my emails and all of my paper trails. If you don't come back, the show's not coming back. We're not sure the show will come back if you don't come back, is what was said. So let me be clear. I'll be paraphrasing a lot, right? And exaggerating a little just in terms of for funny. When I say 500 hours, I don't really actually mean 500 hours. But my point is just, I said, I will come back, but under these conditions. I come back, and this producer who was causing all the problems, the one who asked my daughter to put her hand on Kiki's husband, the one that did that with all the producer, and every other woman except one. I think maybe Selena had a good relationship with him. I don't know, but everybody else had a problem with this one guy. Everybody else had an issue with this one guy. I said, he can't come back. No worries, he won't come back. I said, and the other thing is, I have a promoter lined up. And this promoter is prepared to fund an R&B Divas tour. Well, we would like to be a part of that tour as well. Well, I'm sorry, but that's an ancillary revenue and it's an ancillary project. And business says, I'm sorry, y'all. That's an ancillary project. And business says, contractually, we don't have to give you guys a piece of that, right? That's just business. Now, if I was a white man doing that kind of business, it would be no issue. But because I'm a black woman, the audacity of me saying, I'm not going to give you a piece of my touring revenue because you produce a reality show. So then when we didn't give a piece of the touring revenue because we produced a reality show, and both me and Faith felt that way, right? Difference is Faith isn't animated when she says no. Faith isn't all over the top in Detroit and big mouth and rolling her neck and sucking her teeth when she says no. Faith's just like, no, and walks off. And I wish I had that softness and that sort of ability to just be like, no, we're not going to do that. Because my friend she don't get all off into that. Now, don't get it twisted now. She need to get rotted and body. Fizzy from Brick City is going to definitely show you Jersey. But Faith doesn't do all that. But Nicci G from the D, I'll be a little more animated. So, needless to say, I shared with them that they weren't getting a piece of that. They said, okay, Nicci, literally stood there, held my hands. You're the most three-dimensional character that we have, person that we have. We need you on the show to move this thing along. We really want to take it to the next level. What you did with X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C, and bop, 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 wop, shoo, wop, bop, bop, bam, boo. Convinced my dumb ass that they actually had my back, and we actually had a good conversation, and they actually understood it. So the shenanigans and the tomfoolery and all of that other madness would not occur. Well, first day of filming, episode 1 of season 2. Nicci, you get up and leave and you do the Norman Desmond thing a lot. So we've just decided that for production value, we want you guys to have organic surprise. So we're just going to give you the address and tell you where to show up. And then you guys just come. Okay, I'll agree to that. No problem. I had no idea I was going to Selena's house. Had never been. And me and Selena had some issues over the summer. Mind you, this is another very important piece to leave out while we on this R&B Divas conversation. During the off season, we were invited to do Iyanla Fix My Life. Because TV One, now be clear, let me be clear, I should have said this very early on. TV One is not the production company. TV One, the production company puts the series together and they give it to TV One. TV One is the distributor. So TV One has a say in everything, but the day-to-day operations of R&B Divas was a group of people that were younger than us. The ones in the field were younger than us, right? I don't even have to tell you, it was a non-black production company. Shot it well, edited it well, but you know, like they said, they made some bad choices and they apologized for those choices. So be clear, they apologized to me face to face, but we got an opportunity to do Iyanla Fix My Life. And, I said, yeah, this would be great. This would be an opportunity for me and Selena to heal our stuff, for us to get back on track. So for season 2, whatever, I get an email that I was not supposed to get. And the email that I was not supposed to get, I am paraphrasing. It didn't say this exactly, but in a nutshell, the sum of it was, we don't want Selena and Nicci to be friends. We don't want Selena and Nicci to go sit down with Iyanla Van Zant and have a reunion or figure out how to work their things out. That is in essence a such and such and such and such. And that's not something that we need to be doing. This should be a pass. We don't want them to go fix those issues. So here we are. And once I realized that they didn't want us to do that is when I made my decision. Well, I'm just going to take a Mona Scott seat on this bus where I come in from time to time. But let me get my producer on because, again, in my mind, I wanted to be Myra Brock. I wanted to be Shonda Rhimes. I really wanted to be a producer. You guys see, based on all the stuff that I'm producing, I am a multi-hyphenate. I'm a singer, an actress, a magician, a damn wet nurse, all of it. It's a joke. So decide to come back, tell them the only condition, I'm a long storyteller too. Decide to come back, tell them the condition is that we have to do this tour. I get to Selena's house, which I didn't know I was going to be at Selena's house. When they told me I was there, I was like, oh, why didn't y'all tell me? Oh, well, you can leave now if you want to as we pull up. Where am I? Oh, this is Selena's house because I'd never been to her new house. I told Jakeem and my assistant, y'all keep the car running because what they wanted me to do was get in a van so they could take me to the house. So I would have to wait for the van in order to leave. But I told my team to follow the van. I said, I'll get in the van, but I want my people to follow the van because what? She from Detroit. You ain't about to trap me up someplace I don't want to be. So my team and my matter of fact, my Flake, one of my best friends from Detroit, Nicci, was with us. And she's like, I remember it like it was yesterday because we were talking about this a couple months ago. They wait in the car. I go inside. I'm like, no, I'm going to go in. I go in, no place to sit. Food's all ate up. Okay, well, Nicci's finally here. We have an announcement. Now, mind you, setting the scene, you guys, I was not coming back. The only reason why I did is because I'm like, we can do this tour. I can continue to launch my clothing line. And maybe there's a redemption for what happened last season. I sit in the child's chair at the adult table. And Celicia says, so I have an announcement. We're going to do a tour. Yeah, at that point, I'm pissed. Why am I pissed? Because they knew good and full well that me and Faith had already secured a promoter. And the announcement that we were going to make to the team as the person who created the show about a tour was that there was going to be a tour. So all Big K and all you people in there that don't like me, imagine you go to your friend's house, or at least y'all was friends beforehand. The friend that you flew from Chicago, cast in the show, the friend that you had in Soul Kittens Cabaret, the friend that you had her back and gave her a check and always giving them a check no matter what. The friend to Monifa when she was going through her addiction and going through her issues and other people weren't giving her checks. The friend that was giving people checks consistently. I'm in a room with my friends and they're like, yeah, we're going to do what you wanted to do, but we're going to control it because we've been talking to the people. So then that's when I said, well, I got an idea too. I got a tour because you bitches knew that that's what it was supposed to be all about. Flashback to the end of the last episode of season 1. What we say at the table. Faith said, Celine said, oh, what about a tour? What do you guys think about a tour? And Faith said, well, that's what Nicci always wanted to do. That's what this was about. Cheers, sisterhood. Cheers to a tour. So you knew that was on the table. So what do? At the top of the season, when I come in blind and you don't know that the only reason why we got a second season is because I agreed to come back and sign on to do another season. And you railroad me by announcing the very thing that I was going to announce. Okay. Well, and then Monifa, bless her soul, which is why she and I had to have the conversation. If you have not had a chance, please hit like. Please hit like. For those of you who have heard this story, I'm sorry, but the questions are coming in on TikTok. I'm new to TikTok. They just getting caught up. For the YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter folks, y'all know this has been going on for a while. But I got 400 people over here on TikTok who want to know the answers. So I got to give them to them. So Monifa says, if you watch the episode... Lord, I can't believe I got to go through and break all this shit down, but I'm going to do it because I love y'all and I want us to be friends. And I want Big K and the people who think I was a mean, terrible person to actually rethink that with the real facts. I mean, if you don't, it's cool. I'm still going to be playing basketball with my grandson and loving on my husband and, thanking God for my gifts. But anyway, Monifa says, well, I have a question. Can this group get along? Can we all get along? Right? My response, and y'all can call me super bitch for giving this response. I don't care, but this is how I felt. My response was, I can. And Selena said, I can too. Or can you and Selena get along? And I said, I don't know about that. And she said, well, I can get along with anybody. I said, we can get along as long as we, say it with me, as long as we are not out here mushing people and pushing people. And for those of you who don't know, this is a mush. This would be a mush. No, actually a mush is that. That's a mush. Let me do it again. Mush. That's a mush, right? Long as we're not mushing people and pushing people. That's what was said. So then, actually, it's going to get hot. Selena says, well, I can because I don't such and such. And who does that? Who does that? I said, you. Now, that's just how I am. If you ask me the source, that's why I said, y'all tell me. Selena said, who does that? I don't know. I said, you. Me, mush people, and then listen, here, come on, y'all, let's do it real slow for the emotionally intelligent ones, right? And the not so emotionally intelligent ones. And then immediately following that, this is episode 1 of season 2. Monifa said, yes, you did. She said, who I mush? I said, you mushed Monifa, and she pushed a friend of mine in the club. And she did. One of my friends was at the club. Selena didn't say excuse me to her. She moved her out of the way. She kind of brushed her out of the way, pushed her, whatever. I wasn't there, but I trust my friend. And I believe that, It could have happened. Selena probably wasn't thinking. She was probably moving through. I don't know. But my point is just, she definitely mushed Monifa. Monifa said to her, yeah, you mushed me. And Monifa told me that Selena mushed her. And when Monifa initially told me that Selena mushed her, I was like, mushed you? I'm like, was she playing? And she's like, no, niggas playing. How do you play when you mush somebody? She was, whether she's playing or not, you don't mush somebody. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Actually, that's kind of foul. I'm like, see, that is what I would be concerned about. Like, don't put your hands on me, because if we out here on the road and people get putting hands on, and listen, you guys, I'm not exaggerating. I know everybody's a completely different person now than they were then, myself included. We're all a lot more mature. This is not about making somebody else look bad. This is not about beating a dead horse. This is not about me trying to call somebody out so all of a sudden people switch up how they feel about somebody, because you're going to love who you're going to love anyway. Half these motherfuckers out here going to love the entertainers that have done terrible stuff to people either way, irregardless, which is my favorite word. So that is not the mission. The mission is to make sure that the truth about what actually happened is out there for those of you who care about the truth and not just the bullshit that you've been conditioned to believe based on editing and all that other stuff. But in that moment, I didn't say it behind Selena back. I didn't talk behind her back. She mushed such. I said, you mushed Monifa. And as long as you don't think you could do that, we can figure it out. That is when you could get out my house and what, ma'am? Excuse me? All I'm doing is saying what Monifa told me that you did to her. I'm trying to figure it out. Where was I wrong? That's what I'm saying. I want y'all to tell me where I did something so terrible. I'm the person who said who was told to get the fuck out and suck 10 bags or whatever and threw me out. I would never throw nobody out of my house, especially nobody who offered to let me and my family live with them in their house when I didn't have one. There's no way I would do that, especially not somebody who put me on and put me in a show that has my back, that's trying to put together a tour so we can all make money. I wouldn't do that to somebody like that, especially somebody who's never done anything to disrespect me. I've never done anything to disrespect Selena. I challenge anybody, her included. That's why I'm willing to sit down. I'm willing to sit down. Tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what I could have done better. Tell me how I could have showed up more for you and been a better friend. I'm here for it. I ain't got shit to hide. But that's not what happened. I brought up something that was a soft spot and I got put the fuck out. And Monifa sat there like, yeah, you mush me. And I was mad about that shit because I'm like, ma'am, I'm defending you because me and you been friends the longest. And you sitting here making it seem like it's okay. And how do you go on the road with somebody if they mushed you? All money ain't good money. Sometimes you got to leave something on the table till you figure out the sick shit and get it together. And I'm not accusing anybody of being that. I'm just saying, let's use our emotional intelligence and think about how you would have reacted in that situation. I didn't cuss and say, I don't care. I don't get it. I gave her the finger. I said, kiss my ass or some shit like that, because how dare you have me coming here? Ain't no food. You going to co-opt my idea. And all of a sudden you got a tour. And then you get mad at me because I tell you to your face that Monifa told me that you've been mushing her. And Monifa said, yeah, you mushed me. So obviously that shit went down. And now all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. Man, please get the fuck out of here. Get your emotional intelligence in order. That is, how the stuff went down. I know some of you want to believe it different, but it's not different. That is what happened. Unfortunately, it was the divide. Yeah, when the shenanigans and the divide started, as Black women creators don't involve your best Judy. Yep, that's exactly. I agree 100%. Let me look over here on TikTok and see what y'all saying. How she keeps saying mush. Y'all right up. Mush. Oh, man, please. And Mo all little. Mo is tiny. And me and Selena, we big. We both 6 feet tall. Tell your story. I believe everything you're saying. They did Melody Rogers from Marriage. Yeah, you guys, y'all never hear the backstory. That's why we done spent 2 hours telling you the backstory on this shit, because it's important that you know it. Because what's not fair, and listen, here's the thing. The guilty people gonna always want you to shut the fuck up. The guilty people gonna be like, she always on here talking about such and such. Check on now. She always on here talk about R&B divas. She always on, because it has stained my career for the last 13 years, because people actually think that I was out here just being a horrible person. And I have challenged everyone to bring up scenarios in the show where you saw me being a terrible person. Before somebody asks, let's talk about the workout DVD. Just to show you what a good friend I am, Selena asked me if I could. These are the same people who did the sizzle reel before we had a deal for R&B Divas, right? Selena said, can you help me find someone to film my DVD, my workout DVD. I was like, yeah, you know what? You should call Marcelo. Work it out with Marcelo. I'll tell him to give you a deal. You, my friend, this is good exposure for him. He on a TV show. Whoop, 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 whoop. Mommy's Got Soul workout DVD. Guess who was in the DVD? Me. Guess who went and got, oh, you know what? Shanita could be in the video too. I'm helping produce it, not take over Spirit. Just, what you need me to do? Who you need me to call? What you need me to do, friend? How you need me to show up for your Mommy's Got Soul workout DVD, friend? I'm here. Let's do it. 1 and 2 and everybody work out. The only reason we had a problem with that DVD is because the person I referred her to, who was a friend of mine, who did it on the strength of me referring him, saying, that's my girl, she got you. This is a great opportunity. You know, this is good for you. And then work her out a deal. She didn't pay him or did not pay him what he believed was due. So when she reached out to me and said, Nicci, I need you to sign off on this DVD so I can release it, I said, sure. I called my friend that I referred because he sent me a couple of emails saying, hey, can you call Selena? Can you text your girl? Can you call your girl? Can you tell her I need a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? I was calling Selena. Oh, we'll take care of it. I called her sister. We'll take care of it. It's all good. So when she sent me the release form, this person has been my friend. We've been friends longer than me and Selena. And he's a producer who produced the sizzle reel that got the show picked up. And those relationships are important to me. See, I'm always getting in trouble for helping defend people I care about. And I don't give a shit about that. Because I'm going to always do that, which means I'm always going to be in trouble. When I reached out to him and said, did you get your stuff situated with Selena because they're about to release the workout DVD and she wants me to sign off on it? He said, no, I haven't heard from her. So guess what I said? Come on, why y'all hit like? Why y'all hit like? What y'all think I said when he said, thank you for, oh my gosh, wowzers. What about that? $100 super chat. Wow. Hey, I would like to connect with you and talk about a sensitive issue. It's about my friend. Oh, can you please? Oh, Lord, please let me know if you'd be comfortable with that. I'm so grateful for your super chat. That's a wonderful super chat. But oh my gosh. Okay, just let's figure out offline how to deal with that. Okay, I don't want to get too. Yeah. Somebody said, you mean you're from Detroit and she's from Chicago? These people have you slightly annoyed. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm talking too fast and I'm saying all the wrong stuff. Thank you, family, for looking out for me. And I'm actually not slightly annoyed. Nobody on these lives, just to be clear, none of you have me annoyed. Nobody has me annoyed. What has me annoyed is reliving these experiences and reliving the whole concept of so many people thinking I was so terrible when I was not. It's nothing like, it's like with Monique. You guys think Monique is beating a dead horse with Tyler Perry. There's nothing like somebody putting shit on your name that's not true. Imagine that, y'all. Let's just stop for a second and imagine you're on a national platform with millions and millions and millions and millions of people. And it's in perpetuity, like Big K, who started this whole thing off, said, right? And because of manipulation and lies, this picture has been painted of you because people don't have all the facts. Now, I'm old enough to really not give a fuck, right? But it is also difficult when it starts to bleed into my everyday life. When I don't get the support for my case because I don't like her, I didn't like her, I don't like her. First of all, I know none of these people know me. We don't really know each other like that. We don't. I mean, no disrespect. I love you, but we don't know each other. So I don't take it that seriously. But as an entertainer, being likable is important for your business. And I have to accept that. And because I have the truth, right? Yeah, the producer I'm talking about does have a podcast. And all you have to do is go to his podcast and my name is going to come up in it every single time. Every single time. Not my name, because we both agreed to not mention each other's names, right? Because we was about to get lawyers involved and it was about to turn into that. But yeah, he talks shit about me all the time. And yes, it's that same producer. But so long story short, the situation with Selena's house and the get out and the suck the DVDs and the workout DVD, that, you know, the workout DVD was the reason why the whole incident happened at the restaurant. The whole incident happened with my husband. The workout DVD bled over into the what do you call it? It bled over into the reunion special. The workout DVD is the reason, you know, so much negative stuff happened. And the reason why, and she sat there on national TV with her lawyer. And again, I love Selena and we both passed this. So I don't want anybody to think, because I'm talking about this now, that me and Selena have beef, because we don't. I think we both let it go. And if we never really speak or are in the same room with each other again, I think we love each other. We respect each other. It is what it is, right? I'm not afraid to be in the conversation. I'm not afraid to be in the room. I welcome it. And I'm not saying she is either. Maybe she's just past it and over it. But I'm the person who lives with the lingering effects of our relationship. And I will say this. For the most part, I think people have gotten past all of the stuff with R&B Divas, and most people just want the show to come back. And I would love for that to happen as well. But in order for it to be real and authentic, it's important that it is, that the truth is out there, that you have all sides of it, right? And now that we're older, we're all 13 years older than we were when the show came out. We all probably have very different opinions on things. Wow, they made it seem like you ambushed Selena. I didn't ambush Selena. I swear, I never ambushed Selena. Smoke move with having your team learn to follow. Right, smooth move. Yeah, my team, You're not going to have me just all caught up in that bullshit and I ain't got nowhere to go. You were explaining what happened. Oh, did I miss? Oh gosh, I'm missing these. My comments is late. Ooh, I'm late in these comments. Okay, hold on. Peace queen. So I was explaining what happened with the DVD. Okay, yes. So long and short, Selena did not, at the time that we was beefing with the DVD, I don't know if it's all been settled now. I'm sure it has. It's 13 years later. But the way I look at it is this. If Selena did something for somebody, for me, and that person that she did something for, she sung a song or she recorded something in the studio, they didn't pay her fee and they needed me to sign off on some shit, I wouldn't sign off on it if it benefited, you know, to help her the same way I didn't for my friend. That's just how I operate. I operate from a place of integrity, and I operate from a place of character and karma. And I didn't sign off on it because my friend said that he had not gotten taken care of. What this fascination with wanting to see Black women fight. The fascination with wanting to see Black women fight is because, hold on, subscribe. This done turned into a 2-hour R&B Divas live, but I know that's what y'all here for. Well, not everybody, but the vast majority. The 400 people on TikTok is here for that. At times you have to work with people that you don't like. Yeah, absolutely. Someone says you and your sister Haven are both the sweetest people. Thank you very much. What was the $20,000 invoice between you and Selena about? That's what the $20,000 invoice was about for me and Selena. Selena had someone produce a workout DVD for her. Her negotiating with the price, I had nothing to do with the negotiation of the price of the workout DVD. I wasn't in her business like that. She asked me to help her find somebody. I helped her find somebody. I don't know what she expected to pay somebody for producing workout DVDs, editing workout DVDs. I don't know how much they cost. That wasn't my business. What I know is I had an invoice. The invoice from him said $20,000 from all of this stuff that he had done. If you know anything about TV, if you know anything about sizzle reel, if you know about, I think $20,000 is relatively inexpensive for something like that, right? Just because it cost a lot. People got cameras and editing and equipment and hours and whatever. And he gave me the invoice. So at the reunion, when I came, or at the table when I came, I said, just pay the invoice. You went and told your lawyer that I was taking food out of your children's mouths. You got the whole world thinking that I'm not signing off on a DVD just because I'm jealous or I want to be an evil bitch or I want to make your life misery, when we know that that couldn't be further from the truth. I helped you identify a friend of mine to produce your workout DVD. I participated as a worker outer, even though I'm not a worker outer with my big ass in the DVD, and didn't charge a dime and didn't ask for nothing. And I just didn't didn't sign off on it because the person I refer, if I didn't refer that person, I would have signed off on it, no big deal. But this is a relationship I had had for 10 years. And I wasn't going to ruin it because you hadn't paid the invoice for the workout DVD. I just said I'm not going to sign it until that is taken care of, until y'all work something out. And I'm never going to believe that that was a bad idea. I heard something, Miss Nicci, the sibling was used to push narratives. I don't know. All you ladies are legends. All of you can come together. I want us to come together. You guys, here's the thing. I want us to come together. She's not reading TikTok. Hold on. What did you say? Somebody go to Facebook or IG Live and copy and paste what y'all saying over here. She's not. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Let me read TikTok, you guys. Let me read the TikTok. I'm sorry, TikTok. I got to read the TikTok because I got a few hundred people over here. Let me get to the TikTok questions, y'all. Please forgive me. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you guys. I've been talking too much and not reading. Are you from the group Brownstone? Yes, I am. Hold on. You can't tell these folks nothing. Nipsey, she had more than one incident. She really had a nasty attitude. Okay, y'all, I had a nasty attitude. Whatever. Where's Selena now? Because this is crazy. I don't know. If you don't want to be looked at in a negative light, then find new avenues to make a coin. I did. I left a whole lot of money on the table. I left. And when I left, the show went away. So that's the reason why, honestly. Hold on. Let's see. I'm getting some of these TikTok questions. That's not the real Monifa. I don't know what that means. Oh gosh, these questions moving fast. If people only remember you from one incident that happened 13 years ago, then that's your fault. Monifa is on the live. Invite her on. Oh, Mo, where are you? You weren't so nice to Selena, even in her own home. See, the reason why I'm not going to these TikTok videos, because I think y'all late. I wasn't nice to Selena in her own home, and Selena put me out. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. She put me out. She put me out because I said I can't go on tour with somebody who mushes people and pushes people. And she did mush Monifa. What part of that? Are y'all slow? I mean, no disrespect, but who goes on tour with somebody that they think they might have to fight? Because if you mush me, we rolling in the mud. And who wants to have that attached to their career? Who wants that? Man, listen, stop playing. Hold on. Let's see. Anybody else? Solution. Reboot the show. We are going to reboot the show. Absolutely, we're going to reboot the show. Why are you speaking on it then? Because you guys are asking me questions. That's why. Okay, talk about P Valley. We care about what's relevant. Let's switch gears. Let me make sure I got all the R&B Divas questions out, because there's a bunch of y'all on here with R&B Divas questions. Just take accountability for your part. I do. I take accountability for my part. We all should take accountability for our part. It wasn't one-sided, right? Use your emotionally intelligent thinking caps, okay? Let's see. Nicci, you look beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm going to TikTok just to make sure I'm getting these questions, you guys. Some of them I'm just ignoring because they're just repeat questions of people who just weren't here for it. Yeah, the producers got involved. Everybody on the show has told you producers have got involved. Everybody has said the producers did they bullshit and their shenanigans, but you guys still want to believe that it's just me. I'm about to segue to P Valley because I know that's what y'all here for. And then, is this shit 2 hours? It's almost 2 hours. Oh, you're very toxic. You love her, but you're saying she's aggressive and physically assaults castmates. I'm very toxic. Okay, you know me. Where am I from? Where do I live? What is my birthday? Okay, I'll be toxic for you, baby. I'll be toxic, Tay will. We'll be toxic. Why she charged $500? She knew it was wrong. Blah blah blah. All right, I'm getting into these TikTok, but the TikTokers, I'm new to TikTok, so a lot of them are still on the 2013 or 2012 version of me. Okay, I think I love you too. Thank you so much. Y'all need to bring it back. We will. Okay, all right, let me look over here. And hey, Nicci, 2 things. Give me the 2 things, tea with the teal in the kitchen. Most of them seem like trolls on TikTok, right? Yeah, you want to believe it. I get it. You want to believe it. It's cool. Believe it, baby. Believe it. I'm trying to honor y'all by talking about this shit, but every single time I come on, it's R&B Divas. And it's, why were you so terrible on R&B Divas? And I don't want to just ignore y'all. I've been ignoring y'all for 13 years. So now we talking about it. And you guys are mad because you're not hearing what you want to hear. right? Yes, I do love Selena, but she was very aggressive and in my face. It was all on the show, right? I'm not hiding. I never did that. Okay, P Valley. Let me talk about P Valley real quick. And then we are going to somebody said I'm still not gonna hold you. I want that tour. I know everybody wants that damn tour. I want that tour too. We all need to make some money. Absolutely. I'm not here for none of the BS and the shenanigans. I'm here to cut to the chase and get to the bag. Please hit like. Please hit like. Please hit like. Felicia, she said on here, me and Monifa are fine. I'm fine with all the ladies. But listen, let me just say this real quick, and then I'm gonna get to P Valley. I'm gonna say this real quick. If you can't be honest with your friends, and you can't tell the truth to your friends, and you can't go back and revisit things that happened in your life that involved your friends that hurt you, or moments where you hurt them, that's not really a friendship. That's not really a sisterhood. That shit is not really real. So I'm going to always, when someone says something about me that is not true, I'm going to always explain why that shit is a lie, right? Especially when I got time. Because the good thing about this here social media app is the longer you're on here, the better it works for you as a creator. Okay, P Valley. All right, let me get into P Valley real quick. Real quick. I'm hot as hell. Y'all got me up in here hot, and I ain't even been finishing my protein shake, damn it. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about all the topics I was going to talk about tonight. There are actually some very important topics. I haven't been on an R&B Divas rant in a very long time. I think what triggered it is that I'm posting all this footage, which is fantastic. So make sure you guys go watch it. P Valley, quick and dirty. I am in the Supreme Court of the United States of America. I'm in the Supreme Court because I believe wholeheartedly that I deserve a right to a fair trial. I was not given the opportunity to go to trial. Even if you are a big fan of P Valley, even if you are upset with me because I am taking P Valley to task, every human being on the face of the earth deserves the opportunity to have a fair trial. It's called due process. It is your right constitutionally. Okay. So because I did not have an opportunity to do that, I have made the decision that I am going to the Supreme Court. So I'm a pro se litigant in the Supreme Court of the United States. Pro se means that I filed this by myself without an attorney. I could not afford one, just because I am already millions of dollars in debt. With legal fees, and the judge ruled in favor of the billion-dollar corporation, saying that I should have never brought my case to trial. I'm sure there are plenty of those of you on TikTok and out there in the social media world who agree with the judge. Unfortunately, that's not how fairness and justice should work. I think everyone, especially considering the fact that they're not debating that I left my materials with them. They're not. The only thing that they're saying is that they're not substantially similar because my character is gay and Uncle Clifford is non-binary, right? So long and short, the issues, the questions that we have for the Supreme Court are whether or not a judge can act as a trier of fact and determine the difference between gay and non-binary. The other question is whether or not I was denied the right to due process, because everyone is supposed to be given their constitutional right to a fair trial. The other question is whether or not I paid tens of thousands of dollars for an expert report. This expert has worked with the family that wrote The Godfather. He's worked for 30 plus years as an expert in this industry. He is somebody that's really well versed in expert testimony. He followed the Dubert analysis method, which is a legal method that you have to follow in order to determine whether or not there is substantial similarity. The expert did everything the expert was supposed to do. I never once had a conversation with him. The whole point of hiring an expert is to make sure that you're not spending money running in circles. And this is somebody who could objectively look at the situation and say, Ms. Gilbert, you're tripping. These are nothing alike, or Miss Gilbert, wow, these are alike. And in my case, the expert looked at both and said there's no way P Valley could have happened without use of Soul Kitten's Cabaret story. And he went into a very specific breakdown of all the reasons why. And the judge in my case, who recently made headlines because there's a police officer who, in California, there's a police officer who allegedly, I think he's on body cam assaulting an older black woman, and the judge gave him bail recently. So all I can do is state facts. about, you know, what's happening out here and what kind of decisions that judges are making. And you can read into that whatever you want to read into that. I knew when I went to California to this particular judge after I did the research, right? Because my case was filed in Georgia. It stayed in Georgia for a year, and then for some reason it was transferred. Please hit like, please hit like, please hit like, please and thank you. Then for some reason it was transferred to the state of California. The some reason, I mean, I think we could all just speculate, right? I'm not going to get on here and say nothing that will have these people calling me up, right? We got a big enough fight with the Supreme Court. Long and short, they moved my case to California. As soon as they moved my case to California, the judge said, "Oh, I don't need to even see nothing. Get this out of here." Then he finally decided to give us something called discovery, which discovery could take a year sometimes. I got 60 days. And threw my experts report out, threw my case out, told me that I needed to pay them for wasting his time and their time. And yeah, never got an opportunity. It's been 5 years. This case started in 2020 for me. I've been paying legal fees for 5 years. And yeah, it's a terrible situation, but as a pro se litigant, we've gotten really far with the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court is actually reviewing my case in what is called their long conference. It is a writ of certiorari. The writ of certiorari is basically us asking the Supreme Court if they will give us an opportunity to go to trial. And on September 29th of this year, the judges will be reviewing my case in chambers in their long conference. I'm really excited about that, you guys, because as a pro se litigant, this doesn't normally happen. A lot of times these pro se applications don't get as far as mine has gotten. They asked me for something called a supplemental appendix. What a supplemental appendix is a sign of is that the judges are taking my writ very seriously. Judges don't like to overturn each other, right? Judges don't, I don't think they do. I would assume that they don't. Got to be careful about my words. So it is a very, like I said, microscopic snowball's chance in hell that the Supreme Court does say, hey, listen, let's change the law based on Ms. Gilbert Daniels' case. But my case is a great vehicle to change the law because this is a situation where I'm a single independent company fighting a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And I'm fighting them because they gave Katori Hall $100 million. $100 million. This isn't speculation. This isn't something I'm just making up. This isn't a guesstimate. This is what the CEO of Star said. We gave Katori Hall $100 million to make P-Valley. It's worked out well for us. We hope the rest of the industry takes note and does the same thing. My story was written 15 years. My story was written in 2004, copyrighted in 2006. Copyrighted in 2004 and again in 2006. Katori's story was copyrighted in 2017, 2018. Both of our stories are about a transgender LGBTQIA club owner who owns an inner city striptease club that's up for a casino and faces a homophobic antagonist who's trying to take over the club for a casino. Both of our shows have a girl arriving with a red vintage suitcase from the middle of nowhere. We got the same exact number of characters, and all those characters pretty much played the same roles in each play. Same beginning, middle, and end. And because we live in a world where money trumps everything, my case was basically pushed to the side, and the Supreme Court is the place you go when you feel like your constitutional rights have been violated. Okay. Did that answer the P-Valley question? Right. So I'm asking if they say she's right, does P-Valley get... yeah, it's an identical story. Girl, bye, move on. Take the advice that you're giving me if it's irritating you to be on this live, because, this is where we use our emotional intelligence. And if you're watching someone you don't want to watch, then it says more about you than it does about me, boo. I'm just saying. So why don't you skedaddle and stop embarrassing yourself? This is Wild Identical Story. Hi. It's in the Supreme Court. Yes, it's in the Supreme Court. No, I'm not the reason why P Valley is not on air yet. If they got that thing that they done had in the can for 2 years, then they should go on and release it because technically they have won the case, right? So if you won the case and you got a season that's already in the bag ready to go, you should release it if it's any good. Most of them, okay, let's see. Two things. My submission for SKC delayed. We'll be responding to people from SKC next week. I'm actually headed to Detroit this weekend to talk to my production partners and go over all of the audition submissions. I have my choices, but I have partners. So I'm actually meeting with my team. We're shooting it in Detroit. I'm meeting my team this weekend so that we can go through all of your submissions. So expect to hear from us next week if you sent your submission to noegoentertainment@gmail.com. If you are still in contact with any of the divas, we would enjoy watching you. Yes, I'm doing a new season of Diary of a Diva. We've taped 2 episodes. I'm not going to tell you who they are because we're trying to get 6 to 8 episodes in the can, and they will air right here on WIRF.TV YouTube channel. Please make sure you hit like. I said I wasn't going to post new content until we got to 20,000. So please tell a friend to tell a friend. Hey, Chicago, Norma Desmond. That's so funny, that Norma Desmond thing. If you are still in contact with any of the divas, a lot of TikTok people. I love TikTok. I love y'all. It's quite a number of y'all on there right now. You the reason why P Valley not coming back? No, God is the reason why P Valley's not coming back, and karma, which God created. Who wrote the song Loving Me? No, the song Loving Me was written by me and my sister Belle Johnson. That's the theme song for R&B Divas. That was written by me and Belle Johnson. We make mistakes, apologies, and forgive. Life is short. I hope you divas can make it work. I love all of them. Even though I had a whole conversation about me and Selena's beef, it's just the beef that we had 13 years ago. We don't have no beef now. She's happy. I'm happy. We're happy. I would love to sit down and talk to her. But the thing is, we're going to have to revisit those things, right? And not revisit them like in a like super duper important way, like they matter about how we go forward. But I think it is important for us both to know that, I want to know what I did to her. How about that? I want to know what I did to you to make you feel the way that you felt. And she has to be able to allow me to say, well, I disagree with that, or I agree with that, and I'm sorry. This is not about, just like the conversation with me and Monifa. I was like, yeah, I feel like Monique felt. Your apology needs to be as loud as your disrespect. And I felt like my beef with Monifa, and Mo, if you're still on here, you know what it is. My beef with Monifa was when she went on the show with Wendy Williams and she reacted the way that she did, like I did something terrible to her in front of millions of people, where Wendy Williams, of all people, was hosting a reunion. And it's so funny because people be like, get over it, let it go. Bitch, you aren't the person that everybody painted this horrible story. And when I say that, I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm saying the energy of people who are like, let it go. Why are you still beating a dead horse? You weren't the person that they were talking about. If a person has had their reputation damaged for 13 years based on lies and deceit and missing information, I'll talk to about that shit till I'm 75 years old, or until I feel like it's resolved, because it has stained my reputation. And I have the right to say something about that shit anytime I think about it, for 2 hours on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere else if I want to. You don't have to be here to listen. But I appreciate y'all for staying. Thank y'all. Because it's about 500-600 of y'all combined, and I appreciate you. Hey, love, I love you since the movie Woo. I almost got my GED, mother, so you could kiss my ass. Okay, Instagram. I had to get off TikTok because they are too petty. Yeah, TikTok ain't petty. They just new. They just don't know what it is. Time has passed. I would think that Selena would admit to some of the faults of hers. Yeah, I think so too. Now listen, I'm not saying I was a perfect friend, and I'm not saying that I was flawless. But what I'm saying is that this idea that I did something far worse than anybody else did on the show is just insane. Because the reason why, because guess what? If that was the case, then you guys would have R&B divas with everybody but me, right? Felicia. Because I'm not supposed to say this person's name. What the producer is saying, if that shit was true, Everybody else would be willing to do the show. In fact, the last time some derogatory reference to me came up, he was talking to Shantae Moore, even though he didn't say my name, but I'm assuming because he says all the time, there's this one person who caused all these problems. He said it again with Shantae Moore, but Shantae said she would never do it again. Me and Shantae weren't even on the same show. Me and Shantae are cool. Nobody wants to do this show, not because of Nicci Gilbert. People don't want to do this show because of the producers. You guys, I hate to break it down to y'all like that. I hate to hurt your feelings. I hate to bust your bubble, but it is the production company that nobody wants to work with, not me. Okay? Mic drop. It's the production company that nobody wants to work with, not me. And it's the reason why nobody wants to work with them. It ain't got shit to do with me. Okay. Nicci, I know you want to explain everything, but you are going to wear yourself out with these folks. Thank you, Ocean, for reeling me in and reminding me. I'm really not going to wear myself out. It actually is kind of a relief to let it go and release it. But you're right. I appreciate it. The ruling is insane. Yes, it is. My team is making another version of P Valley in Alabama. Good luck. We're doing one in Detroit too. And it's called Soul Kittens Cabaret, the original. I get tired of watching R&B divas, which was Divas should be on Worth TV. Yes, that's what we're trying to do. How did P Valley get your story? I gave it to them. The reason why I gave it to them is because my lawyer, who was friends with the CEO of Lionsgate and knew him, referred me. My shit was copyrighted and I thought it was safe. So I went in and I gave them 2 copies of everything because I was supposed to be meeting with 2 people, the head of legal and the CEO of the company. I left 2 copies of my DVD. I left 2 copies of my script for Soul Kittens Cabaret, 2 copies of the dramatic series pilot, which is what we're dramatic pilot series Curtains, which is what we're auditioning for in Detroit. And I left them a deck and a bunch of other stuff, and they had a lot of stuff to use as reference material. We need a power prayer for you and your victory. I see it. Yes. September 29th, September 28th, which is that Sunday, we are doing a prayer. You guys, real quick, I got to say this. I'm about to get off in a minute because it's been 2 hours on this live. It's ridiculous. But I've enjoyed talking to y'all, and it's actually been therapeutic to get this off my chest because imagine. September is Creatives Equality Awareness Month. We're kicking it off through From the Bottom Up Foundation, which is not my nonprofit. So you guys, please make sure you take a look at that. I decided to also go pro se because I wanted to have the last word come exactly from me. I felt like bridging the gap between creative and legal might be beneficial in the long run. So we shall see. Everyone, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Yes, I agree. I hope you get to tell your case in court. I do as well. Thank you so much. God bless you. If I don't, we're moving right along, moving on, building this platform, building this streaming platform. So, J Perry TV, be clear. The difference between gay and non-binary. Non-binary gay is a sexual orientation where non-binary, not right. Okay. Gender identity. Thank you. I think you mentioned that to me as well. Yes, P Valley took a lot from Soul Kittens. Okay. You got this. Thank you for the win. P Valley can't air anything because you didn't write. Right. Exactly. You should do a follow-up on Social Conflict. Social Conflict is a backdoor pilot for a dramatic series. All right. I've been over there for a minute. Let me come. How did you get your show leaked? It didn't get leaked. I handed it to the CEO. As a writer, I support you 100%. Thank you so much. Is your play available to watch now? No, I took it down off of all platforms. Where's Claudette? I don't know. I'm the new VP of Urban Film for Lionsgate in New Jersey, speaking it into existence. Okay, go ahead with your bad self. For real, especially talking about something that's over and done. Okay, yeah, it is over and done. Right, okay, thank you very much. But we're here talking about it. I think that's it. Kelly Price, don't know where Kelly is. 5 Miles to Empty. Thank you very much. If you're not a filmmaker, you don't get it. It's the glasses for me. Thank you so much. They don't want to be seen in that light. It's so funny. People always want you to just not talk about something that has followed you for your whole life because it just makes them feel bad about, themselves, I guess. I love you, met you on Meet the Browns. I'm trying to get to these, make sure I get to all the last questions before I get off of here. give us 2 more hours. I wish I could speak to Sophia Stewart. Definitely, this platform has grown because you've addressed everything that's being asked tonight. I love the growth of your platform. Right, I've addressed it, and so many people. And that's the thing, you guys. I know it feels redundant to people who have been on the platform before, but I can't just leave new people who are coming to the platform hanging. I can't just be like, I talked about that already, go find a video. I'm just not that person. I feel like if you are willing to come in as we're growing this platform and ask me questions, I can give you honest answers. They're just mad because you're actually creating art in this world, right? Since you lost, you should put out your own version. I have not lost because I did not go to trial. So I don't think it's possible for you to lose if we never went to a jury. But since something was taken from me, I am going to do my own version. That's called Curtains, and that's what we're auditioning for in Detroit. Any advice you want to give someone who wants to get into the industry as a writer as well as a creative? That's a good thing to leave it on, and I'm about to get out of here. So real quick, if you are a writer or a creative, and I hate to leave the few hundred people who are on TikTok and the folks who are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. But this is the advice that I would give a creative, and then I'm going to get off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night, and we'll get into the other topics. And I promise you, tomorrow I'll be much more calm and reserved and funny. This time I was a little hardcore, so forgive me. Do the thing. Don't wait for a production company. Don't wait for somebody to give you the funding or the resources to do it. Just do it, right? And sharing ideas these days is very dangerous just because if a person has the money and the ability to actually produce it before you do, then they're going to produce it. And that's part of the reason why going to the Supreme Court and having this thing, really have an opportunity to be heard is important. Because if it does not go to the Supreme Court, if my case with all the facts that I have and I got 57 comparisons, you guys, I left the DVD with them. I put it in the hands of the production company. If I cannot get a trial, this isn't about, if I don't win this case, then the system is rigged. If I don't get a trial, if I don't get an opportunity to go before 12 jurors, what it says is that the average creative does not stand a chance against a multi-billion-dollar company. And that's just not fair. Money should never dictate whether or not you are able to receive justice. Power should never dictate whether or not you are able to receive justice. Relationships should never dictate that. Having the opportunity for truth to be heard and for justice to be served, right, is the way this country should work. So I hope I only need 4 of the 9 judges to rule that we go forward to court. And then once they do, guess what, guys? This thing starts all over again from the beginning. So it could be another 5 years. But I'm not scared. I got God on my side and I have a ton of faith. So, oh my God, I got over 100,000 likes. Oh my God. Wait, am I reading that right? You're kidding. I got over 100,000 likes on TikTok. So somebody liked the conversation. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, y'all better get them likes up. Because it's looking like it's 100,000 over here on TikTok. Am I reading that right? Is that 10,000 or 100,000? Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, guys. Oh, wow. Thank you, TikTok. So it was worth it. All right, guys, it's been 2 hours. My husband this is on here talking forever. I really appreciate y'all. I really appreciate you guys. WIRF.TV is a growing platform. I'm coming live nightly at 10:30 p.m. Sometimes it might be 10:45 because I got to get the grandson all situated and whatnot. But 100,000 likes on TikTok. You know what? I ain't even done my applause. Thank you guys for tonight. Thank you guys for tonight. Thank you guys for tonight. We do believe that they will rule in our favor. We are going to the Supreme Court with my sis. I like that. I appreciate you guys. And this Supreme Court fight is not just about me. It's about all creatives. And somebody just came in and asked if the lawsuit is the reason why. We're going to talk about it some more. You guys, listen. Tomorrow, we're not talking about R&B divas or Selena or the P-Valley. You guys, we talking about the hot topics and stuff. We're going to find out what's going on with Funky Deneva and Tamar in this motherfucker tomorrow. I love and appreciate y'all. I'm so sorry that we didn't have a chance to do the other stuff. But go look at the episodes, y'all. Go look at the episodes of R&B Divas that we've posted. We're trying to get the enthusiasm back up for R&B Divas. So I'm talking about it a lot. I'm posting about it a lot. I did not say this, and I'm not saying this to brag or to be boastful, but I do own the IP for R&B Divas now. So give me some hearts for that. Can we get some claps? I do own the IP for R&B Divas now. So it took 11 years, and I finally got it. So hopefully I'll own the IP for everything else they took from me. I love and appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for hanging with me. This has been a long-winded ass conversation. But please tell a friend to tell a friend. Nice with Nicci is back again. And I promise y'all, tomorrow it won't be a whole... the streaming channel is WIRF.tv. We did have a streaming platform, but unfortunately, because I've been in this litigation, I had to let the streaming platform go. So now we're on YouTube, which is a streaming platform as well. And now we are on TikTok as well. And I got 100,000 likes on TikTok. So I'm excited about that. I got over 100,000 likes. I got 100,777 likes or some shit. So thank you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. God bless y'all and good night. Peace.